This week, we're helping a small-town family add some extra charm to their historic farmhouse.
It tends to fight against us sometimes when we try to improve it.
I've been helping homeowners improve their homes for a lot of years. They think it's intimidating, but it actually can be a lot of fun.
And we're here to help.
Here you go.
Dad's the expert, but I've learned a few things along the way.
Practical, realistic home improvement information is what today's homeowner is all about. This week, we're in a small Alabama town called Silver Hill. This old farmhouse belongs to the mayor of Silver Hill, Jarrett Lyles, and his wife, Christy, who share it with their children, Jackson and Adeline.
Yes!
No. Silver Hill's less than 800 people, so it's just an amazing place where, you know, the kids can ride up and down the street, and we can sit on our front porch and watch them play and not have to worry about the heavy traffic. We love the house because it's old. It's something that not everybody has, but I think it brings with it problems that everybody doesn't have either.
Yeah, it's a love-hate relationship. Everybody says your house has so much character, but it tends to fight against us sometimes when we try to improve it. The front door is faded and there's a hole in my columns, and they're beautiful columns. They're damaged, they need repair. And don't even look at my landscaping, it's embarrassing, so.
We've yet to do a lot of the stuff that we wanted to do when we first got this place and dreamed about what it could be.
So Chelsea and I are here to help them fulfill that dream by fixing up this old farmhouse. I bet you guys really enjoy it here.
Oh, we love it. We love the porch. I love drinking my coffee out on the porch, it's my favorite.
What are some things you want to change?
You know, it gets awful hot. It gets awful hot because the wind is blocked where we're at. Mm-hmm. So I mean, something like, I don't know if it's possible to have ceiling fans, just something to move the air.
Has the bricks been there since you guys been there?
The brick has been there since we've been there. I love the brick though. I would like to save the brick, you know,
and clean it up a little bit. Some new plants. I love plants.
Yeah, you got to put some plants in there.
Yeah, don't look at my plants. I'm terrible at landscaping.
The simplicity of the house is some of the things that makes it really appealing, but I wonder about some very, very simple shutters.
You know, when we first moved in our house, we thought about shutters.
Maybe we'll make them though, you know, so that just
Yeah.
board shutters. But
Simple.
I noticed the front door has to be original.
It is.
Yeah, it is, and you can tell it's original. If you, the closer you get, if you look, there's cracks.
We first moved in, we had a skeleton key on the door, and oh, that's super cool, got a skeleton key to open the door. However, when the UPS guy comes, friends come, hold on just a minute, go around, we'll meet you out back. And so that's kind of frustrating. I would love to one day park at my house and take a key out and open the front door like normal people. It'd be really great.
So I'm wondering about those blocks that you have underneath the porch.
They looked really good. Now, when we first found those, 15 years ago when we moved into the house.
It wasn't perfect. It did not look that good.
I did it. It looked wonderful.
So when we return with a plan and some materials, our first step is to clear off this porch.
Did you know there's little
bird? Are there bird eggs in it?
eggs?
Yeah, they're pretty cute, but if the mama bird had been around, yeah, she'd have been on you.
Be careful because she might come try to attack you.
The mama bird is one thing, but right now, the bigger threat is these wasps that are taking over the porch.
You know, you look up and there's a big wasp nest with 20 wasps sitting above your head. So it's kind of frustrating. It makes it a little less easy to relax when we go out there.
There's one right by your head. Look right. Oh, well, don't do that.
Farm life can be a scary life. There are wasps, birds coming at you, snakes coming at you.
Oh, yeah, it is a snake.
See? Ow. Stop. But it's nice to sit on the front porch still. Why do we have so many nails on our porch?
We're taking all these nails out, you know, there's just a ton of nails. This is how we string up Christmas lights. I clearly don't use the same light pattern every year because I need a new nail every time I do it, apparently.
The cooler weather's coming and it's time to start stacking up your firewood. But I want to show you a stacking technique that'll allow the wood to dry out a whole lot faster. Now this is the way most people would stack up firewood, right? They just put it all in one row, all the way across, and you just keep going up. But if you stack it in alternating courses, meaning in opposite directions, so you go all in one direction to one course, the next course goes this way. And you continue in that pattern, one direction and then 90 degrees in the opposite direction. What you'll find is if you stack it up this way, there's a lot more space for the air to circulate through. If it's all stacked in one direction, it's very hard for the air to get through. And you want fresh cut firewood to season at least 6 to 9 months, maybe longer if it's really green, meaning really wet. So you continue this way, alternating each row. And then of course you want to protect it from the rain. You all you need is a thick vinyl tarp. Just pull it right over the whole stack. Now just wait for it to dry.
We're helping Jared and Christy improve the front porch of their 1901 farmhouse, and one of our first chores is to remove Jared's improvised underskirting. Now we'll save a little piece of this because I have something I need to use that for in a minute.
All right. All right.
You know, a lot of people call these speed blocks, where you can stack them vertically or horizontally, and it's used so that this can be the outside of the house and that can be the inside of the house.
Huh.
We'll let you keep those keepsakes.
Well, thank you.
You could paint something on it and make a great, you know, anniversary gift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Christy would like that. That's almost as good as a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, I think we could take our wedding picture, just get it superimposed on a block, put it right on the mantle.
It's real classy. That sounds
be
great.
awesome, yeah.
Mm.
The porch will need to be comfortable because I'll be sleeping on it for the next little while.
That's right. On the other side of the porch, we discover some framing damage that will need to be repaired before we put things back together. While our handyman Bear starts pressure washing the house, Chelsea and Christy are getting ready to remove the old door for refinishing.
You want me to show you how to unlock it?
Is there a special way?
I'm gonna be able to show you. You have to like gently talk to it.
Talk to it.
And you just keep moving it.
You're a beautiful lock.
Yes. Yeah, sometimes the lock and I have good conversations. Sometimes it's really not kind conversations. You can do it, Lock. But yes, we talk a lot. I promise you I can unlock it.
There we go. Okay.
See? Easy as 1, 2, 3.
This lock adds so much character to the front door. I just can't get rid of it, so I'm gonna find a way to fix it. Instead of just sanding the door, we're gonna use a stripper on it.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lose the key. I'm gonna keep it in there. So we're just gonna brush this on really thick, too.
Okay.
Not like you're painting.
It smells citrusy.
What I like about the stain stripper is not only is it non-toxic, but it's made from citrus oil, so it smells nice, which is a good bonus because the rest of the stripping project is not very pretty. Ew, look how gross that looks.
That's super nasty. It got everything up, which was cool, but then once you started peeling it off, it's really gross.
Ew, that looks like earwax.
Ew, that really does. Big ball of earwax. Ew. It's like once you make an analogy about something, you can't unsee it. And then we'll have to clean this really good, otherwise the stain won't stick. We're using plastic scrapers to get all of the stripper glue off of the front door so that we don't gouge this beautiful 100-year-old wood.
While the ladies are working on the door, Jared, Jackson, and I get started building the new shutters. All right, so here's what we got. We could go with just 2, or move that just slightly, and we can go with 3.
I kind of like the 3.
I like it too, and it'll really hold up better because it'll support it really well.
And how are we going to put it together?
With the shutters flipped over, we apply exterior wood glue to the horizontal pieces before we put them in place and drive screws through the shutter to secure them. As we finish each one, Jackson moves them into Jared's shed for sanding.
And go back and forth just lightly on the surface, and then when you get done on the surface, just knock that edge down.
You know, I really think it's cool when a father shows his son a few things about carpentry or repairing, or in this case, sanding. That's pretty cool.
That's good, kiddo.
I know, I'm sorry, I'm the closest you got to a son.
Well, you learned a lot, though. And you don't mind sanding. That's a big plus. All right. Man, that looks perfect. Okay, so it's time to stain, but instead of staining on the front, let's do a little test for the stain on the back.
When we put the stain on out in the shed, it looked really, I mean, we put it on, I liked it. It looks good.
I think so too. But now you gotta go get approval.
So we take it up to the door to put it next to the door,
There you go.
All right, what do we got?
Yeah. Do you think it's different enough to where we can keep the look of the door? As soon as we got all the old varnish off the door, I saw how pretty the wood is. Then I realized I don't want to stain this door. It's beautiful. And then Jared and Danny get this stain that we're going to do the shutters with.
And when the shutter gets next to the door, the two colors just clearly don't go together. It turned out almost a green color.
It's just, it's not that pretty next to our pretty door now.
Yeah, they definitely won't
Yeah.
match.
So we need to change stain color.
Matching wood stain colors can be a trick. The best way to do it is get sample pieces of wood of the wood you're trying to stain. Stain it with a couple different shades, but definitely do it using the same wood.
Until you put it actually on the wood you're using, you don't know what it's gonna do.
I like that color a lot better than this one. I think it's going to match the door better. I'm excited. I think that's going to look good.
It's gonna look good on those shutters.
Do I look like a professional?
You do. You're doing amazing. You can do all of it from this point forward now.
So many times when we get together with families like this, the kids are interested in doing a little bit of work. They get bored pretty quick.
Right.
These two kids, they will hang right in there with you.
I know, it gives me hope for when my kids get a little bit bigger and they can actually help around the house.
Start now.
Start.
Start now training. Just give them to me for a Saturday or so.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, we'll show them how to work.
You know, when you've got a really good product to begin with, it's hard to improve on it, but Deckmate has with their Deckmate 3 deck screw. Now, I'm going to show you one of the screws here. Now, it's got the standard star screw head, so that means it's less likely to strip. It also has the fluted tip. What does that mean? That means you don't have to drill a pilot hole anymore because it's self-piloting. Now, the best feature is their new and improved thread design. And if you look at it here along the side, there are these little nubs that are in between each thread. What do those little nubs do? Well, as the screw is going down into the wood, it's pushing the wood aside as opposed to cutting it. And what does that mean? That means that the screw is going to go a lot faster and you're going to use 40% less torque. That means your job's going to get done quicker and you're not going to use as much battery to get that job done.
At the beginning of day 2, Bear is removing some siding so that our electrician Jeremy can install a new light and 2 ceiling fans on the front porch, while Chelsea and Christy continue work on the front door.
It's just cool to think this is what the color was when they first built it.
And I'm about to tackle the damaged columns. So first thing we need to do is to find out just how rotten any of this is.
When he starts poking at it and we start digging away and digging away, the holes were just enormous, and we never realized that rot was there.
So many times when we're doing projects, it gets uglier before it starts looking any better, so it's about to get real ugly here.
So you just make sure you scrape down until you get to all good wood around.
Then we have this stuff that's a liquid hardener that seals up the pores of that wood. While it dries, I cut some hardware cloth left over from the underskirting to form a backing for the epoxy putty we'll add later. Meanwhile, Chelsea strips the lacquer from the antique lock plate before she digs into the lock itself.
I'm gonna open it up and see
Are you scared to see what's inside?
a little bit. Anytime you're taking apart something with a lot of intricate parts, it's a good idea to take a photo of it before you get too deep into it. That way you can put it back together. Let's see, okay, so those go there and control that. Since there's nothing obviously broken, I'm cleaning it up, oiling all the parts, and then putting it back together to see how the key works from the outside.
Now, we removed a couple pieces of siding right on the front of the house because we were eliminating the wall-hung light. We'll have to replace those boards, and I found the perfect board to do it. It's the exact same size, but here's a great tip. Make sure you prime all sides, the front, the sides, and the back. That way, it'll lock the moisture out, and the siding will last a lot longer.
You liking it? Or you...
I'm loving it. I think it's
Okay.
going to look really good.
After the front door had dried overnight from cleaning it really well, the color was still pretty similar but a lot duller, so we're gonna shine it back up with some spar urethane.
The wood was all natural and raw, and then it just popped. The color got richer.
It was amazing, you know, to see it bring back what it looked like before it weathered for the last 100 years on the front of the house.
Now it's time to complete the column repair with the epoxy putty. Boy, now that looks like ice cream.
That does. That looks pretty good, the vanilla and chocolate.
Oh, yum. I missed the ice cream.
I'm glad you didn't see it, or
I know, ice cream on a hot day.
You'd have been gone. When the putty is thoroughly mixed together, I press it against the screen and spread it out to fill the void before we smooth it out flush with the column surface. I really love Jared's technique in rolling that board around the columns to make it nice and smooth and minimize the amount of sanding that he had to do. To create the lattice panels that will skirt the porch, I'm making a frame from treated 1x2s. Then we tack lattice strips on from the back side. Spacer blocks speed up the process, and as each panel is completed, Christy applies the same stain we used on the shutters to tie it all together. By the end of the day, Bear and I have repaired the porch framing, and the porch is ready for Jared and Christy's homework, painting.
That's it.
Oh, we were all excited about homework. You know, it's going to be great. We'll have pizza, listen to music. About 10 o'clock last night, we weren't that excited about homework anymore. And Adeline kept us entertained with a song, painting the porch. We're painting the porch.
Painting the porch for Danny and Chelsea. Painting the porch. Painting the porch.
Very, very catchy.
Yeah, I think we might go ahead and get a copyright on that, because if Baby Shark can make it, you know, then Painting the Porch is going to be the next hit song. We're excited about that.
Yeah.
Still running through my head as we speak.
You know, this landscape fabric will still allow underneath the house to breathe, but it'll keep everything out of there. Plus, when you look at it, you won't see what's underneath the house. And how'd the painting go last night?
The painting went okay. It's about 12:15 at night. We've just...
Or in the morning.
Or in the morning, yes.
We're done.
We're finally done.
We've painted till we're blue in the face or the hand.
Yeah.
We were really eager this morning to wake up and go see our paint job and see how good it looked.
It was the first thing I did. I just knew it was going to be incredible. I walked out and it took about 1 second to realize that we were not as good at midnight as we thought we were.
He ran upstairs and said, go ahead and get up. We got a lot more painting to do.
Yeah. For midnight, it was wonderful.
Now we just need to install the lattice panels, hang the new shutters, and add some plants to complete this front porch renovation. People love old houses for their character and charm. And Jarrett and Christy's home had plenty of character, but the charm had faded a bit over the last 118 years. The porch surfaces were worn and a little dingy, the underskirting looked more like farm than farmhouse, and without working lights, fans, or door lock, it wasn't very functional. But now, we put some sparkle back in the eyes of this old home. The wall, ceiling, floor, and steps all look bright and new thanks to some cleaning and fresh paint, while the light and fans will make it a lot more comfortable. The repaired columns have been returned to their former glory, and the natural beauty of that old front door has been restored, complete with a functional and newly polished lock. The shutters and lattice we added not only coordinate with the door, they fit perfectly with the character and charm of this beautiful old farmhouse.
It looks like a different house. It's beautiful.
The way that the door and the shutters and the lattice work are all stained to match.
The lattice is adorable. I'm in love with the lattice.
When we were doing these projects, I mean, even when we added some of the more modern elements like the fans and the light, we wanted to make sure that the feel of the house stayed the same. And this house has been here for 100 years, and I think that was important to both of us, that we didn't want to destroy what we loved about the house when we bought it. You're afraid of the projects at the beginning. They seem so big. That I think that was the thing that was the best, is that it didn't seem as hard or as big as we thought it was going to.
You know, when I think of a farmhouse, I think of simplicity. That's exactly what we did to improve the look of this home. A few simple projects: shutters, paint, and plants, all for less than $1,000. But we had the help of an incredibly hardworking family to help us put it all together. Hey, why don't you get together with your family, do just a few simple projects, and you'll appreciate it for years to come. Danny Lipford here from Today's Homeowner. We'll see you next week. Does that sound good?
That sounds good. Yeah, I like that idea.
I don't care.
Just can't find good help these days. The color blue that Jared and Christy selected for the ceiling of their porch is often referred to as paint blue and supposedly helps keep insects away.
Yeah, we'll see real soon with as many wasps that they had around here. We'll see if it repels him. If it does, I'll be pretty impressed. I'll be painting every ceiling blue. Be sure to join us next week when a patio makeover becomes a recycling renovation.
Painting the porch, painting the porch, painting the porch for Danny and Chelsea. Painting the porch, painting the porch.